And now I'm excited to introduce our instructor, Leanne Culturawick, who is a certified group fitness instructor and has been leading classes for 10 plus years. Leanne loves everything fitness, but her favorite workouts involve strength training and interval training. She enjoys running shorter distances and have participated in many fun runs and 5Ks. Without further ado, I'd like to hand it over to Leanne.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining me today. As Harolyn said, I will be focused on strength training exercises for runners. So we'll do a lot of lower body, a lot of core exercises. Everything I do today is going to be body weight, but if you have dumbbells or other weights such as water bottles, cans of soup, anything like that, if you want to use those, you definitely can. I will demonstrate without weights, but you are more than welcome to use weights if you have them. Let me pin my video so that I can see myself and you can see me. I am going to start some music and then we will get started. So for today's workout, we are going to do each exercise for about a minute. You don't have to stay with me or with the music. Just go at your own pace. This is for you to learn exercises that will help for running as well as being able to do proper form and things like that. So no rush. Don't worry about staying with me or with the music. Just go at your own pace. We'll start with our warm-up here. Arms up, deep breath in. Exhale it, palms down. Another one, palms up. And exhale, palms down. We're going into core twist. So toes are facing forward, knees are nice and loose. We're going to twist side to side, trying to keep those hips facing forward. Throughout the class, I will say engage the core. And when I say that, I want you to think about bringing those ribs down towards the hips or pulling that belly button back towards the spine. That will ensure our back is protected, but also our core is being worked as well. We're going to switch now, reaching for the side of those knees. Knees are still slightly bent. Core is still engaged. Warming up all of our core muscles here, and then we will switch into the lower body. Good. Take one arm up, bend the opposite way, and switch sides, up and over. Good. We're going to take our right arm, reach the opposite way, toes pointed, hip turns in, and switch. Stretching from your fingertips down to your toes. Three, 2, and 1. Good. Roll those shoulders back. Let's start warming up our lower body a little bit more. We're going to take the right leg, lift it up, come straight down. Slow high knees here. Don't forget about that core. So find your balance. Lift that leg up as high as you can. We're going to take our right leg up, extend it out, bring it back in and down. Switch legs up, extend, in and down. Really squeeze that quad at the top there. Keep that foot flat. One more each leg. Good. Switching into butt kick. So bring the heel up towards the butt. Nice and slow. Working on warming up those hamstrings. And let's squeeze that hamstring and switch. Other leg, squeeze and switch. One more each leg. Good. We'll switch into leg swing. So we're going to take the right leg, swing forward and back. Try to keep those hips facing forward. You can make this one full swing, or you can swing forward, pause in the center, and then swing back. Whatever works for you. Other knee slightly bent. Suck that belly button into the spine. Working on balance a little bit here as well as opening up the hips. And let's switch legs. Other leg forward and back. Knee slightly bent. But let your arms move however it feels natural. Kind of that runner's move. Good. Now we're going to take that right leg and go out and across. So outer thigh, inner thigh. Same thing here. You can do one full swing or you can pause in the middle. Again, find that balance. Other knee, opposite, slightly bent. Good. And switch those legs. Out and across. Opposite knee slightly bent. Don't want to lock out the joints. One full swing or pause in the middle. Nice job. Going into some balance exercises here. Opening up the hips a little bit more. We're going to take the right leg up, circle it around, bring it back down. So up, out and around and down. Remember, core is tight. Other knee slightly bent. And let's switch legs. We go up, out, and around. This is great for opening up those hips before a run. Last one. Good. We're going to take that right leg again. This time we're starting out. Bring it back in. So out, around, and in. Two more. Good. Switch legs. Out, circle it in. Try to keep that other hip and knee facing forward. They may turn slightly, and that's all right. Two more. Good. Shake out those legs a little bit. We're going into toe taps here. So we're going to raise right leg, left arm. Core is engaged here. This is really going to work on your balance. Other knee slightly bent. So we're tapping forward, tap out, tap back, and tap the opposite way. So forward, out, back, across. Keep that core engaged. You can also take that foot all the way down, tap forward, bring it in, and then out. Remember, this is your workout. You find what works best for you. Here we're working on that core and our balance. And then we're working our hips in the meantime. One more time around. Good. Take that leg, pull it up so that your shin is parallel to the floor. Hold on to something if you need to. Trying to stretch out that muscle a little bit that we just worked. Good. Let's switch legs. Other leg goes up with the opposite arm up. Core is tight, knee slightly bent. Forward, out, back, and across. Make sure you're breathing throughout these exercises. Tapping with those toes. Last time around. Good job. Shake out those legs. Bring that leg up. Hold on to something if you need to. Stretching out that outer thigh a little bit. All right, going into a stationary runner. So we're going to start one leg up, opposite arm up. We're going to bend that knee slightly, lean forward, arm switch, leg goes back. So we're coming up and back. You can always tap back and touch the floor, or you can keep that leg up for more of a balance exercise. Bending that knee slightly. Find your balance here. Mimic that runner's move. Last one. Good, let's switch sides. Opposite knee goes up. Opposite arm goes up. Tap back and switch. Good, you keep going. Find that balance. Other knee slightly bent. Last one. Good job. Grab a quick drink if you need it. That was our warm-up. I'm going to start the timer for the bulk of the workout so that it's easier to keep track of where we are. So we're going to start with some standing exercises. We'll do some lower body, some core, a little bit of upper body, then we'll transition down onto the floor from there. So each exercise for a minute. And again, you go at your own pace. You don't have to stick with me or to the beat of the music or anything like that. This is for you to learn the exercises. We're starting here with a deadlift. So feet about hip width apart, toes pointed forward, knees nice and loose. We're going to bend forward, hinging at the hips. Butt goes back. Back is as flat as possible. Come up to standing. Just hinging at the hips here. This works the low back, the hamstrings, as well as those hip flexors. Arms can stay close to the body. You can even keep your hands on your legs. Keep that back as flat as possible. Chest goes towards the floor. Pushing the butt back, hinging at the hips. Knees are only bending slightly. If you had weights, you can hold them in front of you.
3, 2, 1, rest.
Good job. Next up, we are going into some lunges. So we're going to do a back lunge to a side lunge. So for that back lunge, take a step back, lunge down, both knees to about 90 degrees. We're going to take that same foot out to the side and do a side lunge. So back, out to that same side. We'll switch after 30 seconds and do the other leg. For this side lunge, this leg you're going into goes down to about 90 degrees. You don't have to go that low. Opposite knee, stay slightly bent. And let's switch legs. So we take a step back and then out to the side. Remember to engage the core. Chest up, shoulders back. Nice and tall torso.
3,
One more.
1, rest.
Nice job. All right, so standing core exercise here. We're going to do Frankenstein. So arms are up, one leg comes up, hands go towards the toes,
3,
and switch. Call these Frankensteins. Knees are just slightly bent as you come up. Engage that core so that those ab muscles pull you in. You can do this with a bent knee as well, if that straight leg gives you issues. Deep breaths. Pull yourself down from the core. Halfway there. Fifteen more seconds.
Rest.
Good. All right, another standing core exercise for us here. We're gonna do a side crunch. So we'll alternate after 30 seconds. So we're gonna bring that leg out to the side like we did during those hip openers.
One.
Crunch towards that knee. Good. Bringing that knee up as high as you can. Oblique crunch here. Almost there. And let's switch sides. Other leg goes out. Crunch down towards that knee. Remember, pull from the core. Almost done.
Three, two,
Last one.
one. Done.
Good job. Grab a quick drink, take a break. Let's make sure that you stay moving around a little bit. If your legs are starting to feel tight at all, you can push your hips side to side, stretch out those hip muscles a little bit, pull your leg up. You're feeling it in your quads. All right, next set, we are starting with some squats. So we'll start with a regular squat, feet about hip width apart, toes pointed forward, knees pointed forward, going down, shoulders back, chest up, down to about 90 degrees. You can definitely go higher. You can even go lower if your knees are okay with that. Along with that squat, on the way up, we're going to do a calf raise. So we'll squat down, calf raise up.
3, 2, 1, go.
Lift up on those toes at the top. Remember, bring those ribs down towards the hips. Working all of our leg muscles in this one. Go down as low as your body will let you. "20 seconds left. "10 seconds.
3, 2, 1, rest.
Nice job. All right, standing core exercise here. We're going knee to elbow. So elbows are up either by your ears or at your shoulders. Twist towards that knee as you lift it.
3, 2, 1, go.
So trying to get the knee up towards the elbow. You're not so much bringing the elbow down. Leaving those elbows up as you twist. If your shoulders are getting sore, you can come around and tap those hips. Think about holding a weight or a ball in front of you. Tap the hips as you bring that knee up. 20 more seconds. Remember, take a break as needed. Go at your own pace.
Three, 2,
Good job.
rest.
All right, here we're going into some single leg deadlifts. So similar to those deadlifts that we did earlier. This time one leg is going back, front knee still slightly bent. As you hinge forward,
3,
that back leg is coming up with you, then
go.
back up to standing. So remember, just hinging at those hips. Front knee slightly bent. You can keep those toes on the floor and then do your deadlift. That way you will get a similar response. And let's switch legs. Other leg goes back. Front knee slightly bent. Hinge forward at those hips. Helps if you find a spot on the floor to look at with your balance. Slow and controlled movements.
Three, two, one. Rest.
Nice. All right, next up we're going into some skaters. So I'll do a different few options of this just because if you're somewhere where you can't do a lot of jumping, definitely understand. So the first one is to step over, bring that knee up, and then push off that leg and go back. Or if you want to do the hop, hop to one side, pause, and switch. So you want to stay low. So you have a few different options here. Full skater, you're bringing that leg around, or you can hop and pause, or you can step over and bring that knee up and pause. Similar movements, depends on your intensity and your space. Working the outer hips on here, as well as the balance.
Three, two, one. Done.
Good job. Get a drink. Take a quick break. Hope everyone is doing okay so far. All right, we have a few exercises left before we transition to the floor. These we're going to slowly bring our intensity down a little bit so before we get down on the mat. So we're going to start with some side bends like we did in the warm-up. So knees slightly bent, bend to one side, pause in the center, bend to the other. Deep breaths here as we start to transition down to the floor. Your core is a very important part of running, so that includes everything from the chest down to the hips. While we won't do a lot of upper body exercises today, some that you can do are push-ups, rows, shoulder presses for those shoulders. One more each way. Good. All right, we're going to go into calf raises. So again, just like we did when we did the squats to calf raises, this time we're just doing them by themselves. I'm going to give you a challenge that you can try if you want to. You can do a single leg calf raise. So you can lift one leg either up or kind of wrap it around the other leg, or even just have the toes gently rested on the floor behind you and lift up on those opposite toes. Single leg challenges your balance, as well as strengthens one leg at a time, putting a little bit more weight on that one leg. If you are doing single leg, go ahead and switch. Engaging that core will help with the balance. Good. All right, we're going to do some glute raises here. So one leg goes back, toes on the floor. Just raise that heel up towards the ceiling. Other knee slightly bent. These last few exercises will be some pulses, just to work on some of the smaller muscles in the legs that don't get worked as much. And switch sides. Front knee slightly bent. Belly button to spine. Heel goes up towards the ceiling. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Facing forward, we're going to work the inner thigh and then the outer thigh. So one foot, inner foot faces forward, other knee slightly bent, lift up, then tap the toes on the floor. Again, keeping that core engaged. Other knee slightly bent. You should feel this in that inner thigh. 3, 2, and 1. Switch legs. Inner foot goes forward, other knee slightly bent, lift, and tap the floor. You'll see this move a lot in bar classes or ballet classes, but great for runners as well, working that inner thigh. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's push those hips side to side, stretch them out a little bit before we work that outer hips. So we're going to take the right leg, extend it out so toes are on the floor, other knee slightly bent, lift up, tap down. So you should feel this in that outer hip now. If you want to make this more intense, you cannot tap the floor and keep that leg up. Do smaller pulses there. 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and switch legs. Toes tap the floor, other knee slightly bent, lift and lower. Three, 2, and 1. Good. Shake out those legs. We're going to do some arm pulses. Said we won't do a whole lot of upper body, but we will do a little bit. So we're going to start arms forward. And you can start just slightly behind your shoulder. We're going to pulse forward. So small movements, but we're working the shoulder muscles as well as the chest muscles. Keep the shoulders down and back. Just start slightly behind you. You'll feel this in your chest. Good. Flip those hands back. Now we're working those back muscles. You should feel those shoulder blades coming together slightly. Shoulders down. Elbows nice and loose. Good. Roll the shoulders back. Quick break here before we pulse up and down. So we'll go palms up, pulse up towards the ceiling. Good. Palms down, down towards the floor. Nice job. We are going to transition down to the mat. If you don't have carpeting, go ahead and grab a mat, a towel, a blanket, anything to give yourself a little bit of cushion between yourself and the floor. I'm going to turn off my video and microphone just so I can adjust my camera down to the floor. Then we'll be back in just All right, let's transition onto the floor. So if you have, whatever you have on the floor, roll it up as much as you need to give yourself enough padding between your knees and your hands and the floor. We're going to start on all fours. So your knee right under those hips, wrist, elbow, shoulder, all aligned. We're going into a bird dog. So we're going to lift opposite arm, opposite leg, hold it for just a second, and then switch. So lifting that leg only up to shoulder height, that arm only up to shoulder height, leg to hip height. Nice and slow. Remember, engaging that core is going to protect the back. One more each way. Good. Come up if you need to. Give your shoulders a break. I'm actually going to roll this up once more for myself. So we're going into the same position. This time we're doing legs only. So we're going to bring that knee in and then kick straight back behind you. Foot flat, toes towards the ceiling. So knee in, kick straight back. This will work the core as well as the glute and hamstrings. Keeping the chest facing the floor. One more each way. Good. Go ahead and come on up. Give yourself a break if you need to. Next up, we're going into fire hydrants. So these are going to work those outer hips. So same position, wrists lined up with the elbows and the shoulders, hips lined up with the knees. We're going to lift one leg up, out to the side. Turn this way so you can see a little better. Lift that leg up and back down. We'll go one leg at a time here. Don't forget about your core. Three, 2, and 1. Let's switch legs. Set those legs again. Other leg comes up and down. So your hips may rotate a little bit, but for the most part, you want to try to keep your shoulders, chest, and hips facing the floor. 5, 3, 2, and 1. Good. We have one more left in that position, and it's going to be a glute pulse. So for this, I want you to take that leg up, heel towards the ceiling, about 90 degrees on your leg there, and we're just pulsing up towards the ceiling. Push the heel up. You might start feeling this in that opposite leg that's supporting the rest of the body. 5, 4, 3, 2, and switch. Other leg goes up, heel towards the ceiling. Push that heel up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Grab a drink if you need it. We're going to transition onto our backs. So we're going to lay down, feet flat on the floor, knees bent. Hands are at your side. We're going to lift those hips up, push them towards the ceiling, squeeze the glutes. As you come down, push your low back into the floor, and then lift back up. If you feel any pain in your knees, you can extend your legs out a little bit further or bring them closer to you, whichever one feels better for you. Push the hips up, Push the low back into the mat on the way down. We're going to switch and do the single leg, so lift one leg up or rest it on that opposite leg. Push through the heel that's on the floor. And switch. Leg goes up or rest on that opposite leg. Last one. Good. Okay, from here we're going into a full sit-up. So extend those legs out, extend your arms up. We're going to come up, reach for those toes, and back down nice and slow. Deep breath in, exhale as you come up, back as straight as possible. Reach for the toes, and down. 3 more. 2. Last one, end at the bottom. Take a break here, stretch yourself out. Deep inhale and exhale. We're going into leg lifts here. So your hands can either be under your low back for support, they can be out to the side, or they can be under your head for support. We're lifting those legs up, come down nice and slow, and then back up. Try to keep your low back into the mat the entire time. That might mean that you make this movement smaller and don't go all the way down to the floor. You can also do this bent leg and tap those heels to the floor. 3 more. 2 and 1. Good. Go ahead and roll over to one side and then come up. Grab a drink if you need it. Get your balance if you're feeling a little dizzy. We're going into a seated twist. So for this, your back is going to be kind of in a C shape. Heels can be on the floor or you can lift them up. We're going to twist to one side, pause in the center, twist to the other. Slow and controlled movements here, working on that core. If you had weights, you can hold the weights here with you. 3, 2, 1 more each way. Good. Sit up straight, twist to one side, and then to the other. 1 more in that position. We're doing leg pull-in. So for this, your hands can either be at your sides or you can hold them up. You're going to pull the legs in, extend them out. I always feel this in my hip flexors, so don't feel bad if this is difficult for you. You can definitely tap down, give yourself a rest, pull them in. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Twist to one side and to the other. Once more, we're going to flip over, and then we'll finish on the mat down here. So we're going to go from a plank to a hip raise. So you can do this in push-up position, plank, lift those hips up for the hip raise, or you can go down to your forearms, plank here, lift those hips up. Whatever works best for you. We're doing 10. If you wanted to do more upper body exercises, you can add in a push-up here. If you want, just trying to give you some variety. 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and lower yourself all the way to the floor. We'll finish with superheroes. So your arms out and legs are out. You can either lift both arms and both legs or opposite arm, opposite leg. Working the low back here. The goal is to get the chest and the thighs off of the floor, but you do whatever works best for you. Three, two, and one. Good job. Go ahead and push yourself up into a Cobra Stretch here. Then we will stretch it out. Deep breath in. As you exhale, push those hips towards the heels for a child's pose. Extend the arms out in front of you. Forehead towards the mat. Deep inhale. As you exhale, come up to all fours. Cat-cow here. So push that back up towards the ceiling and then extend it to the floor. Alternate through this movement, however it feels best for you. Good. Whenever you're ready, take one leg between those hands and then come up for a deep lunge. Torso nice and tall, pushing forward slightly to feel the stretch in the front of that back leg. Find your balance. If you feel comfortable, you can lift the opposite arm and bend towards that front leg. Or you can also shift and turn towards the front leg. Coming forward, straighten the front leg, hands go towards the floor, stretching the back of this leg now. Your toes can either be pointed or pointed up towards the ceiling. Again, wherever you feel that stretch best for you. Hands come forward, leg goes back, and switch. Tall torso for that deep lunge. Find your balance. And again, lift opposite arm and bend towards the front leg. Or you can twist towards the front leg as well. And extend front. Reach down for the floor. Good. Hands go forward, leg goes back. We're going to transition to seated. One leg forward, one leg back. Both bent about 90 degrees, again, wherever you feel comfortable. Lean forward slightly. You can reach just in front of you. You can reach out even further and put your forearms on the floor. You find the position that works best. And then come up. Pull this leg back to do the quad stretch. So for some of you, it may be enough just to grab it and pull in. Some may need to lean back slightly. Again, wherever you feel that stretch best for you. Then we're going to bring this leg that we're holding right now up and around onto the top of that opposite thigh. And again, you can either lean into it, you can pull your legs forward to feel the stretch in the outer hip and thigh here. Good, now this becomes the front leg. Bring that other leg back and lean forward. Deep breath in. As you exhale, come up. Grab this leg now for the quad stretch, wherever you feel it for you. And then pull that leg up and around for the glute stretch. And go ahead and sit up nice and tall wherever you feel comfortable. One arm up, bend the opposite way, stretching out the obliques a little bit here, as well as the shoulders and arms. And then switch. Push those arms forward, bring them up. Take a deep breath in, exhale it out. Thank you so much for having me. I hope you enjoyed this workout. If you have any questions about the workout or exercises in general, definitely feel free to reach out to Carolyn, and she can contact me or any of us at the Ray, and we are glad to help you. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.